Well, welcome back. We are live once again, and we have missed you. We have missed this. We are back for the pre-season installment of Formula Dream, and Lord, is this going to be a good season. Noah, aren't you glad to be back?
I'm so excited to be back. It's been too long, even though it's only been like a couple months. It's just been too long since we've been able to do this, and I'm excited to be back with rFactor 2. Just the racing's been so good the second half of last season. I'm excited for some good races this season.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very exciting. We're here in a practice session right now. We'll move on to qualifying here in just a second. We'll head to a quick little cut out and cut back in for us to change the session over, but we are very, very excited to bring this production to you here from Tor Poznan. The first time we've ever had a preseason installment of Formula Dream, believe it or not. But this will help us work the kinks out a little bit with the broadcast. No points will be paid today. No credit will be given for wins. This will not affect the standings in any way, but it's still really, really fun to be here and broadcast a lovely little race to you. This is our pride and joy. So we'll be right back once we switch over to qualifying here in just a second. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Well, we're back in the race feed here once again from Poznan. Lots of exciting things on the horizon here in qualifying. Until then, I'll just watch over the pit boxes for just a second. But here's your race information. It's a nice little track in Poland, home of our champions, Inter-Europol competition. They won the championship, so they get the lovely rights of hosting the pre-season race. It's a short lap, about 1 minute and 30 seconds, even a little less if you're making a pretty good time. Should be about 1:27. That will probably be around what the pole time is. But otherwise, it's a little twisty circuit. It's pretty technically challenging. And we're going to really see who's the best out here. And speaking of the best, the camera is on the best right now. That is Juno Maksimovic, the Formula Dream Drivers Champion. Noah, what a season Juno had last year, huh?
It was insane. She absolutely killed it. There was really no touching her after the first 5-6 races. It was no one was going to catch her.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a brilliant drive, brilliant display of talent in Formula Dream, and it's such an interesting concept, a completely AI-controlled league that you don't really expect to have like a clear-cut winner, and Maksimovic was dominant. It came down to the last round, but then we had some carnage, and in the end, I don't think Madison Brown really deserved it. I think even she would admit that it's not quite a deserved championship for Madison Brown had she won it. But it's a level slate this year, and IEC are back on a level playing field with everybody else. And yes, John, you did in fact lose to a girl. So sorry about it. It is what it is. But here we go, taking a look at our driver cams. Again, this is Juno Maksimovic here. We'll go on board for just a second with her here. And Noah, what are you expecting from this season of Formula Dream? I know it's way too early, but what do you think the racing's going to be like? You think it's going to be closer? You think it's going to be more dominant by any which team, or how do you think it's going to go?
It's like you said, it's really too early to tell, but I'd like to see IEC continue to be good, but not dominate as much as they did. Driver-wise, I want Jedi John to have a good season. I really do.
Yeah, I really do. I just feel for Blue Balls Motorsport in general. They've had a tough run of things. They changed the name, and we thought, man, they're so back, and then it just didn't end up being the truth, unfortunately. So, yeah, it's been an interesting couple of seasons for them, and we do have some moves between teams. I guess we should mention that now, talking about Jedi John being with Blue Balls instead of MMM. But yeah, that is a switch up for sure. had a couple team moves. It was a straight swap. Bot Brook went to Rocket Racing, and Jedi John came over from MMM to Blue Balls Motorsport. He'll still drive the number 23. And then looking elsewhere in the transfer portal, one would say, we've got Jafeth Barahona behind the wheel now of an MMM car, and that is a switch that I am going to take a while to get used to, Noah.
Yeah, that's going to be a little weird, but good for him. Hopefully he can continue to be a solid driver out there, and it is going to be weird to see, though.
Yeah, it's very weird to see that number 21 car in brown, red, and gold instead of green and gold, but it's a change that I think will be exciting. It might level out the field a little bit, and it's a direct lateral swap from championship rival to championship rival, but it's a little bit of an interesting one because IEC basically dropped him, Noah, didn't they?
They did. They didn't want him around anymore. But I think they're gonna regret that, to be honest.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a decision that doesn't quite pan out to be a perfect one. I think Timothy Matthew is a great driver. And we'll talk a little bit more about the rookies here in just a second. Timothy Matthew, a great driver, great Dutch driver, a country of champions when it comes to Formula cars, as we've seen in the last couple of years. But I think Jafeth Barahona is just the cream of the field, to be honest with you. And he wasn't as dominant last year as I think he could have been. He DNF'd a few times in the first couple races. Had some bad luck here and there. Had some not-so-great races, but also had some really great races. Had a few wins. Was a really, really promising driver. And right now he's down in 18th in qualifying, but otherwise not a whole lot to talk about. So, yeah, that's going to be really, really interesting, I think. So, talking about the rookie side of things now. Always an interesting topic. We just talked about Timothy Matthew. A little bit. The Dutch driver, going to be a new ride for Inter-Europol competition. He is in the pits right now, otherwise we'd show you an onboard. And we've also got a new team in Formula Dream, Noah. It's Carpini Racing. What are your thoughts on that?
I'm interested to see what they can come in and do. Like last year with IEC, we had a new team that came in and won it all. So it's going to be interesting to see how they can do as a new team. If they got their production and strategy right for these races coming up this year. I'm excited to have another new team on board. Yeah,
it's always nice to have a new team, and also interesting to see a new livery too. A couple new colors on the grid that we hadn't seen before, and I must say they're pretty striking color combinations. It's a plain white car, but teal blue and like that greenish gold. I didn't think that was going to be a combination that worked, but I'm going to be honest. I think they've got one of my favorite cars on the grid this year. It's just beautiful to look at. I think the Shrieveheart as well. In that classic pink, and I might add, Alex Martin on the pole right now, but the pink and black of the Shrieveheart, also a very striking combination. So, yep, a new team in Carpini Racing, some characters as well, some really great driver names. We've got Carp, we've got Red Hawk, and we've got Yeezy Season, so three very fun names to be spouting out on the broadcast here, but they'll hope to make some noise here in that shiny new car of theirs, and a lot of teams will change. A lot of teams will stay the same. We said goodbye to Team Factor Racing. Factor J, a Formula Dream champion, retires. Factor Bacon as well. Lovable for different reasons. Caused many an incident. Caused many an incident on track, but had a much better season in Season 2, but unfortunately he is out of Formula Dream as well. And yeah, we've got some fresh faces. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. Jedi John expressing his thoughts in the chat about Factor Bacon there. He does not take too kindly to him. They had many a dust-up, but it's definitely a presence that you will miss a little bit in the grand scheme of
I'm pretty sure Bacon took out a teammate for the championship like the year before. Didn't he take out Madison Brown when she could have just wrapped up the championship and then Bacon took her out?
It was Colonel Fleabag that got taken out. That was, I think it was Coral, actually. It was Coral on Fleabag.
No, John was yes.
No, I think John's just a little upset right now. I think we should.
No, that he did kill Madison Brown at one point. Yeah,
he
Mads
might
got
have killed
hit
Madison Brown at some point. Yeah, that's also true. I don't even know if Mads is really in the championship fight that season, but either way, yeah, it's a very interesting driver in the grand scheme of things. So, no, I know we're way too early, but who are you keeping your eyes on team-wise? Do you have any teams that you think you should keep an eye on, or anybody that you think is going to be successful, or maybe even somebody that won't be successful?
I think Central United will be more successful this year. They're not going to be a bottom of the barrel team this year. I don't think. Just judging by qualifying already too. Second half of the season they were doing better already, but this qualifying they already have Kyle Tupper sitting P3, Noah Nadu sitting P13, and James Brown sitting. Where is James Brown?
Brown is. I'm struggling to find him too. He's in seventh. Seventh place for
wow.
James Brown. What a start! What a start for Central United.
Exactly.
Still 6 minutes and 45 seconds left in the qualifying session here, so we'll hold our horses on that for now.
Yeah.
But they are good.
Area seems to, just judging by qualifying, we can't do much by judging by qualifying, but they lost their magic at the second half of last year. They started off hot, and it doesn't seem like they have it back quite yet.
Yeah, I would agree with you there. Definitely a team that started off really hot. I think Steve Durham was in the top whatever for a while.
He was leading for a while.
He was leading. Yeah, it was interesting. As Jafeth Barahona has gotten himself back out on the track, he'll turn some laps here. And we were talking about teams and who we think is going to perform well. I've got an eye on Noah Nadu for Central United, and I know that's you. We'll talk about you in third person here, but the statistical setup that you decided to go with is very intriguing to me. You went all in on everything but wet pace. What was the thought process behind that?
So I was just thinking, as long as the majority of races are dry, I can be fast as heck for those races, and then I might suck during the wet races, but if there's only a few of 4 or 5 of those, I have better chances at being good and getting solid points during the dry races. So yeah, I put 1 point on wet and everything else on everything else.
Yeah, that's really interesting. So looking at the qualifying order right now, it's Alex Martin on pole, Marcelo Marcin, the Rocket Racing in second. That's a team to watch as well. David Lakers is a guy that has some pace. Marcelo Marcin, incredible composure. And Bot Brook, the new changeover from Blue Balls, going to be looking to put in a shift and make an impact on a new team. Definitely an upgrade, I would say, for her. But second is Marcelo Mars, third Kyle Tupper, fourth Keelan Lind, fifth Mallory Fonte. That's how it stands right now. Noah, who do you think is going to take the pole?
I think Martin got. He's up by a decent margin. I say decent margin, but I don't see anybody. Everyone else is in pit pretty much, except for Fonte and a few others that are farther down. I don't see anybody taking that from Alex.
Yeah, it's interesting. Alex did a really good qualifying time, so we'll see how it plays out the rest of the way then. And no, I don't. Go ahead. It's all yours.
Okay, we might get a little bit of a track ramp up, and the times might start going down, but we'll have to see if the rubber's in and it gets any faster as time goes on here.
Yeah, that's also very possible. I definitely could see that happening. We'll just have to see how things go. No, I don't know if you've looked at the spotter guide at all, have you?
I have.
Excellent. Who's your vote for best livery this year? I'm really intrigued to hear this. There's some good ones out there.
There's a lot of good ones. I have love for our own livery, just because I love our colors and everything like that. So that's up there for me. Just because, like I said, I love our colors and everything. Area has a nice car.
Yeah, for sure.
I think Milf Mommy Motors has one of the nicest cars too.
Yeah, they have a design that just works. It works every year. It really does. You see Hayden Segovis right there in the MMM, and we'll go over to the Area one as well. This is Spencer Brown that we're taking a look with. I think Area's car really is just a blast to the past. Like, not to toot my own horn, I make all the liveries on my own, but like the red stripe with the name is like such a throwback Formula One type thing, and I think it just works so well on that car. So I'm a big fan of that.
I see. They're bright. I don't know if I love their green.
Yeah, their green is out there. I love the gold stripe. It's a reflective gold.
You know what they hated?
Yeah, they didn't. No, they didn't like the white stripe, and they hate their number font. They don't like their number font either. I think it's really fun.
They're very picky.
They are very picky, but when you're the champions, I guess you earn that right to be a little bit picky about that.
Blue Balls needs a DeWalt sponsorship with their color car.
Yeah. Yeah, they do. But yeah, Blue Balls has a good car. Always have. Again, it's been a consistent style of car, and I would be lying if I didn't say I get lazy with their liveries a little bit every year, but it just works. Yeah, and you can switch the colors around in so many different ways.
Yeah.
And I talked about the Shreve Heart as well with the pink and black, a pretty striking combination. I think that's a pretty good one to go with. And Carpini, really, there's so many good ones. As that Felice Ziviello up into 4th. Solid qualifying time there from him. We've got 2 minutes left, so everybody going to be just about starting their last couple of times. We'll get some more in-depth looks at some of these cars here pretty soon. But the PCR, also a beautiful vehicle based on the white and blue Ferrari. We had a good conversation about that in their team chat and ultimately decided to do a tribute livery to it. And they do have the Ferrari. They base it off that old Ferrari, and I think it's a pretty effective setup. So
do you know which cars everyone chose for this year?
Which cars have what?
Everybody chose. I know we were at one point discussing everyone was in a different type of car. Is that what we ended up going with, or they're all in the same cars?
Yeah, I could talk about it in just a second. As here comes David Lakers on a good qualifying time. I want to see how this one ends up first, because he's on a heater. It's only good enough for 8th right now. But yes, so pardon me if I don't remember exactly here, but IEC went with the Mackie. Love that car. It's more of an obscure car. Not a whole lot of people know about it, to be honest. But it ran a couple races in 1975. It was horrible. It was way off the pace. But being equal performance, it doesn't matter. It's a cool-looking car. Central United went with the Hesketh of James Hunt. Rocket Racing, I believe that is the Brabham, if I'm not wrong. Actually, maybe that's the Copper Sucre. I think that's the Fittipaldi Copper Sucre. That car is. And then PCR went with the Ferrari, classic 1975 dominant car driven by Nicky Lauda and Clay Regazzoni, 2 of the better drivers in Formula Dream history there. Shrevehart, I don't know if I remember exactly what they went with. You can call me an idiot for not knowing this, but that might be the McLaren now that I think about it. Really putting me on the spot here with these.
I didn't mean to.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I'm just trying to remember. I believe the Carpini car is the BRM, if I'm not mistaken. Milf Mommy Motors went with the March. So that's a good choice there. And sticking with the Lotus with Blue Bolt, so they went with the same car. Made it really easy to paint, so I'm happy about that. Looking through qualifying right now, it doesn't look like anybody's going to do anything too impressive this time around. In fact, we've got a lot of pit requests, not a whole lot of cars remaining on track. Juno Maksimovic was able to jump up into P2 here in qualifying, so that will be an interesting start for the defending champion. We'll see how that ends up there. Alex Martin in first, taking a pole. Again, a race that doesn't really matter, but it's still a good chance to show and flex your muscles and show everybody what you've got for the upcoming season. Every driver does have their own attributes now, so definitely some sort of indication on how the season will go in these qualifying sessions in this preseason race, but definitely not anything that you should take as the Bible, especially if there are crashes and chaos. That kind of stuff can always happen. So we're just about done with qualifying here. Only a couple cars left to come through and finish. Just Keelan Wynn and Bot Brook remaining on track. We'll see if they're able to do anything, though. Bot Brook is into the pits. Keelan Wynn is also going to be into the pits this time around. So we'll have to take a look here at the qualifying session results.
Kristen, thank you for joining us on the YouTube side of things.
Oh, you love to see it. Thanks for being here. We're really happy to be providing the YouTube stream to you guys now. It's really exciting stuff to have that new look at things. So, it's Alex Martin on the pole, and I'm seeing a lot of Shrevehart logos in this top 10 of qualifying. Alex Martin comes home first, Juno Maksimovic is second, Marcelo Mars third, Felice Ziviello fourth, Kyle Tupper fifth, Keelan Wynn sixth, Mallory Fonte is in seventh, David Lakers comes home in eighth, Yeezy Season, the first Carpini driver, in ninth, and James Brown with another solid qualifying effort down in 10ths, 2/10 of a second off of the pace. So that is your top 10 for qualifying. We will go through the full grid once the race gets started. And yeah, we'll take you through that on the formation lap. But until then, we'll hop to our intermission screen for just a second. We're going to prepare the race in the formation lap, and we will be right back, so don't go anywhere. You're watching Formula Dream, and we'll see you in just a minute. All right, we are back. Here we are into the formation lap here in Formula Dream. And before we get going, I'd like to point out the medical car livery. Again, I have to join with a medical car just because I have to have my own driver in there to be able to watch the sessions. But if I stay on track, it doesn't let me watch replays or replay sessions. But we've got a Formula Dream medical car livery. It's cool. Shout out to us. It looks pretty cool. I designed it myself. But anyway, we'll go through our starting order. Noah, I'll take the first... Oh, now we got an odd number, so we can't really do this as well. But I'll take the first 13. The rest will be all yours. But here in the preseason race, we'll have Alex Martin starting on pole. Juno Maximovic, the champion, in second. Marcelo Mars in the Rocket Racing in third. It's Felice Ziviello with a strong qualifying in the PCR in fourth. Kyle Tupper in fifth. And Keelan Wynn in that pink Shrevehart in sixth. Definitely a striking car to look out for. Mallory Fonte starts right behind her teammate in seventh, and then it's David Lakers in eighth. Yeezy Season in the Carpini in ninth. James Brown, a top 10 driver that we didn't expect last year, with a top 10 qualifying effort to round out the top 10. Then it's Red Hawk in 11th and Karp in 12th, rounding out Carpini. Then it's Madison Brown in 13th and Hayden Segovas next to her in 14th. Then Noah, I'll throw it over to you for 15th on down.
So starting 15th, we have Bob Rook, followed by Noah Nadia. Starting 17th, it's Mikhail Lewinsky, followed by the area driver, Casey Lakatos. Starting 19th, we have Jafeth Barahona, followed by Will Duncan. And 21st, it's Steve Durham. And 22nd, we have Timothy Matthew, followed by Jedi John. I really hope to have a good season for him. Not a great start, to be honest. 24th is Conal Fleabag, followed by Spencer Brown, Spobo, and bringing up the rear, we have Pearl.
Excellent. So that's how we line up for the preseason race. Noah, real quick, let's hear your prediction.
I'm going to say Juno.
Interesting. That's always a safe bet to go with the previous season's champion. I think Alex Martin takes it wire to wire here in the preseason race. He's a great driver, and I think he's going to take us from start to finish, going to take the green, and he's going to come across with a W here. So it should be a one-stop race. Should be pretty standard in that respect. But they are lining up on the grid here. No longer any time to waste. Thank you so much for the sub, Crockpot. We love you. Kiss, kiss.
Thank you, Crockpot. We just started. Nobody's winning yet.
Nobody's winning yet. But we will be right back then here in just a second. Well, they're all lined up on the grid here, ready to go. We'll watch the lights go up, and we will get ready to roll here with a new season of Formula Dream. 2 lights up, 3 lights up. We're on board with the leader, Alex Martin. Gets off to a decent start here. Martin rolls away, tries to close off the inside. Not going to work just yet, though, as we've got all kinds of cars rolling into turn 1. We are 3 wide here, heading on in, and it looks like they've managed to sort each other out, but man, I'm so glad we're back here in Formula Dream. Listen to those cars purr. Oh, it is such a beautiful sight, Noah. I'm so excited.
It's so fun to be back. I mean, so fun to be back. It's just fun to watch, fun to broadcast. I'm excited that we're back.
Absolutely. So here we are. Oh, a little bit of a spin already. Little bit of a slide there from Felice Ziviello, but he's managed to get it right after a while there.
I think that was Juno who might have ran into the in there.
Might have been a little bit of an issue. We can go back, actually, and we'll take a look at what happened there. There's Felice Ziviello that had a little bit of a spin. I'm not sure if this is where it was or not. No, I'm not really sure, actually. Not quite sure. But either way, a little bit of a scary moment there for Ziviello, but luckily everything was okay. We'll go back and take a little look at our race start here once again, coming in through turn 1. Everybody got through safe, and that is a massive conglomerate of cars. Looking at who's actually made some decent progress here, James Brown is up 5 spots, as is Noah Nader. Yeah, Felice Ziviello here. Yeah, did get hit by Juno. You're right. There's a little bit of a shove. Yeah. Juno Maximovic there to move Ziviello out of the way. We'll see that from Ziviello's perspective here, see what he saw. Yeah, he just gets rammed. Luckily able to hold on to the car there. That's an interesting move from the champion. It was a huge dive bomb, too. From way
Yeah, it wasn't the
downtown.
cleanest of moves. That's for sure.
Not at all. And David Lakers actually is into the pits now in the Rocket Racing. So, that's interesting. It doesn't appear that he's got much damage. We'll back it up a second here. We'll see if he's still got that front wing on him. Oh man, there's some contact there with the Carpini as well. But, yeah, Lakers looks to be okay, so not quite sure what exactly happened there, but he did pit in. We'll go back live here. And no Crockpot, unfortunately, have not been drinking yet. We'll save that for some of our later races. Definitely going to take that opportunity. Noah Nadu into the top 10 for Central United. He's up 7 spots. Central United boys are charging right now. Tupper in third, actually. Brown in 4th, and Nadu down in 8th. So really interesting progress that we've seen there. Great battle we've got here between Ziviello and Martin, and it appears Ziviello is taking the lead. James Brown has done the fastest lap, and we are going almost 3 wide into turn 1. The Central United is trying to push each other on through. This is a crazy battle. As there's contact. It's James Brown. Oh, James Brown pushing a man wide there. That was Alex Martin that had some contact with James Brown. Luckily managed to be okay, and the Central United's scrapping hard right next to each other. The gap between 1st and 5th right now, Noah, 0.7 of a second. This is the close racing that we have been missing in Formula Dream. Crockpot wants to see his helmet. We'll give you a little view of that, as there he is in the Crockpot helmet. I think you asked me to change that, actually. I don't know if I did yet, so I'll get that done by week 1 of the season. We're about to see an overtake by Michal Litwinski on Will Duncan, and this is a bit of a rivalry between these two that we've seen develop here. And looks like they're going to be scrapping this entire race. Definitely 2 drivers to keep an eye on. Noah, so far from what you've seen, who are you keeping an eye on, and what battles look good?
Well, all of Central United to keep an eye on. Like, they're all flying. Now Needy has the fastest lap. Tupper and Brown both have amazing speed. Interesting to see Juno fall back a few spots from the start. It probably has something to do with her contact, maybe not running as smooth as her car should be. But man, the Central United this year, flying.
Yeah, they're definitely having a good start. And Felice Ziviello, shout out to him. He's jumped to a good lead. He's one of the quickest drivers, statistically, on the track right now. Michal Litwinski has pitted in. I wonder if he might have had a contact with Will Duncan. Let's go take a look at that. Here is Litwinski. It looks like he's still got his front wing. I don't know what exactly is wrong with that car, but that is a big development in this race here for Litwinski to pit in.
We have a rookie fastest lap with Carp.
Excellent. Fastest lap indeed from the Carpini. And I guess with the fuel strategy here, it does make sense to pit at this point. There's just barely not enough fuel in the tank for an entire race here. It's accelerated in a way that makes that happen, so maybe the early stop is the strategy for some of these guys. And we'll say they're all still on the soft tires, which is an interesting call. Alex Martin has tumbled all the way down to 4th here.
It looks like Noah is able to get by Juno up to 6th now. So all the Central United, yeah, it's crazy how fast they're going right now.
Indeed, they're having a very good time right now. As we said, it's Carp that managed to do a fastest lap, as there's a bunch of dust up there. They might have just ran wide. That's a corner where that happens quite often. But yeah, we've got Carp then, who's done the fastest lap of the race so far in that number 42. Having a good race so far, up 5 spots. Noah Nadu up 10 spots from the start. And Carp has a pit request here, so it's going to be an early stop strategy for the Carpini captain. We'll see how that plays out for him as he pulls himself on into the pit lane, gets it down to 100, and going to slide into his pit box. So we're back on board with the leader here, Felice Ziviello. As I spoke too soon, Spencer Brown, fastest overall in the area iRacing, wow. 127.543 the time. From
unexpected, to be honest.
Yeah, not a guy you expected. As it's really good to see Felice Ziviello leading a race. PCR and IEC, the 2 winningest teams in Formula Dream, they both got 7 wins as teams, and obviously this won't count towards that statistic being just a preseason non-championship race. But either way. Forgot what I was going to say because Will is talking some nonsense in the Twitch chat, but Yeah, 7 wins for PCR and 7 wins for IEC. So
Oh no, I was just talking about Carp himself, not Carpini. I'm sorry, Carp.
the 2 most storied franchises in Formula Dream right now, anyway, PCR and IEC. So those are the 2 names that have been big throughout, and hopefully will continue to be so. As Easy Season's into the top 10, we got a good battle here in the middle of the pack. All these cars remaining very close, battling for a top 10 position.
Oh, Felix, thank you for the raid.
Oh, good man, Felix. Thank you, sir. You're a good guy. Good guy. Speaking of Felix, again, the race leader here, as Alex Martin has charged his way back up into second. It's James Brown in third. Noah Nadeau is falling.
Kyle Tupper entering pit.
Yeah, Kyle Tupper has fallen way back. And Nadeau's actually up spots, but
he's pitting, I think. Yeah.
Yes, indeed. So here's Felice Ziviello still leading this race here at Tor Poznan. That would be a very good exclamation point for the PCR boys if they can start off the season with a win. Here's a conglomerate heading into one of the corners. That's up. Maximovich, Spencer Brown, Keelan Wynn, Jedi John. Yeezy Season is in there somewhere. It goes all the way back, I think, to Coral at the back of this battle. So we'll go on board with him and see how this fight is starting to develop in front of him. He's right next to Jafet Barahona in his new clothes. He's not the Emperor, but he is in a new livery here, and he's going to pull off a nice little overtake there, racing side by side with the Easy Season. As Coral banging doors with him a little bit. Coral banging front wings and rear wings with Jafet Barahona there. And man, nobody can really take authority over this space here. As we're starting to see some scary little collisions, as there's a little bit of an off-track moment for the Carpini.
Oh yeah, a little bit of touch. Oh, I'm getting back into one of the MMM.
Yeah. We'll go ahead and take another look at what happened there. You see the Carpini in the background here. Cuts in front.
Very much appreciative of the sub as well. We do appreciate that. Let's see. James Brown is playing the pit as well.
For sure. And oh, looks like we've got a little bit of an incident of some sort. Not sure exactly what happened. We're going to have to take a look. All I see is a bunch of velos on my screen. It's calling a Fleabag. That was apparently the start of it. As, oh, wow, there's a big turn. That was a big collision we had there. Just trying to watch it and see what had happened. Colin Fleabag was slowed down by the spin in front. That was one of the Rocket Racings that went around. And, oh yeah, that's Bot Brook that had the issue there. We'll go back here and see exactly what happened. Here's Bot Brook with the 2 MMMs. And, oh, it appears Segovis actually got hit. Segovis, I think, got hit by a teammate there. I'm not sure which teammate that actually is. It might be Madison Brown. Yeah, it is Brown. Turns Segovis, and then...
another thing to note, both area drivers up 12 and 18 spots, respectively, with Casey Lakatis and Spencer Brown. They are both absolutely flying as well.
Yeah, absolutely flying. Oh, thank you for the sub, Felix. I didn't even notice Felix subbed. I thought that was his raid notification. He raided and subbed.
I said 3 times. I was like, thanks, Felix, for the sub. I was trying to get you to notice.
I thought you said for the raid. Oh, that's tough. You're right. This ain't Rocket League. This is definitely not Rocket League. Yeah, surprised we didn't get a yellow brought out there, but we're just going to take a quick pause here. And this game I like to play is called Listen to the PCR Engine Sound for 5 seconds.
It is pretty hot.
Yeah, that's that 1975 Ferrari engine, and it's got some purr to it. Every other car runs the Lotus Ford Cosworth, but the PCR engine, I must say, is one of my favorite engine sounds, possibly ever.
Yeezy Season is approaching. That is right, Purple.
Yes, he is. As Felice Ziviello still leading this race. Jedi John now coming out of the pits. At this stage of the game, I think we're still a little behind. We'll go back to live TV now as we skipped almost entire lap there, but looking at the pit stops, we definitely got a fair amount of early stoppers. This is a very spicy strategy kind of race, I think. It's really diverse in how teams are going to play this. And Alex Martin, I might add, is really starting to gain a bit on Felice Ziviello. He's lapping about 0.4 of a second quicker than Felix is. Part of it probably due to the slipstream, the other part of it due to him driving like a bat out of hell right now. But he's using all of those tires, and he's going to be pretty close to an overtake here pretty soon, as he's going to dive to the inside here. Felix going to close the door, and ooh, a little bit of contact there. He's trying to get on through, but Felice Ziviello closes the door for now, but he's not going to be able to hold on to it. He's going to go around the outside now, as this is a brilliant battle developing between these two. We've got Martin versus Ziviello. Ziviello takes the inside and is going to hold Alex Martin off for now, but Martin's still around the outside, still hanging around, and now Noah Nadu wants a piece as well. This battle for the lead is going to get really hot, and through goes Martin. That is going to be the end of this short stint of the battle. Alex Martin reclaims first place after a pole position qualifying, but don't expect that to be the last act, as we've already got Ziviello side by side once again. And here he goes on through. P1 for Felice Ziviello, and what a pack of cars we've got here. This battle for first place is absolutely nuts. As finally looks like Ziviello going to pull ahead a little bit and assert his dominance back on the situation.
Man, what already some great fights. It's good to see.
Yeah, really, really good to see.
We have
all yours, Noah. All yours.
I was just going to talk about people talking about a couple people talking in our YouTube. Someone said Baba Booey that got deleted.
Tough. You deleted it?
Yeah.
Or a bot deleted it? Oh,
I think
that's
a
tough.
bot deleted it.
That's tough.
And then we also have Echelon here saying that the Vulture album was delayed to the 9th of February.
That is really sad news. Really,
sad
really
news.
unfortunate to hear that happened. Anyway, we've got a battle for first here, still raging on at this point.
But thank you all for coming into the YouTube side of things. We do appreciate it.
Yeah, really happy to have the support everywhere, really. That's been great. Quick question where the PCR teammates are, as Felix is really pulling ahead now. His consistency not the greatest, looking at the statistics, but his pure race pace is pretty much unrivaled in this league. He's one of the quickest drivers out there day in and day out. But yeah, it's definitely a good driver to keep an eye on. Looking at the rest of the PCR team, let's see. We've got Will Duncan down in 23rd, but he's made a pit stop. So don't put too much weight on that. And Coral down in 12th. That has not stopped yet, but up a spot from where he started. As it appears, Steve Durham is
down to third now.
Steve Durham is going to make a stop. Spencer Brown appears to have had a bit of an incident. Let's go take a look at that. As he stopped on track. This might be a race over for Spencer Brown, as he way overcooked it into the kink there.
Yeah, Redhawk in 5th.
Spencer Brown was able to regain it. Good to see the support for
YouTube here is, everyone on YouTube here is rooting for Redhawk. We have Purple, Redhawk rooting for Redhawk, obviously.
Speaking of that Carpini team, Yeezy Season is in 10th place now. Good fight with Coral going on here, and Coral chucked that one into that corner here. We'll go forward in time a little bit here. As Jafet Barahona and Steve Durham have made pit stops. Noah Nadu also going to pit. He's used quite a lot of his tires, climbing up 14 spots from the start, so we'll see where that shuffles him back out at the end of this pit cycle. As we've got a pretty solid group of cars developing here. Yeezy Season has a really good battle in behind him, but obviously that battle for first is still going to stay pretty hot. It has been, and it will continue to be. It's Felice Ziviello's race to lose at this point, I'd say, but the pit cycle always makes things really interesting, so he's still going to have to go for a stop at some point here. As I was going to say a couple laps ago, this is my absolute favorite camera angle here at Tor Poznan in Formula Dream, is that one under the bridge. I think we're going to get it again here. Let's shoot the next image for just a second, but oh man, it's got to be one of my favorites of all time. It's beautiful. As Noah Nadu's into the pits, Felice Ziviello has put in his pit request as well. That will leave Alex Martin down to Colonel Fleabag without pitting. But Fleabag going to go in this time. Josh Fobo as well going to pit. And obviously, as will Felice Ziviello. We'll see where this spits out Noah Nadu. I'll let you know when we get the pit go notification for him, meaning he left the box. He did just leave the box now, so here is Noah Nadu. We're waiting for him to leave his pit box here, and yep, there he is getting released. He gets dropped onto the ground, and he waits for a man to clear, and then Nadu is out. That is going to be a little unfortunate. He had an MMM coming in as he was trying to get out of the pits, but the time has really ticked by. We're already 12 laps into this one.
Yeah, almost halfway.
It's gone by pretty quick, so Noah Nadu comes out 15th. Carp is the driver behind him at the moment, and there it is. We'll go back live now with Felicia Ziviello in the lead. You can see those tires starting to band quite a bit in the middle now.
It is a lovely day for some racing. I do have to agree with that, Purple.
Oh, yeah. It's absolutely beautiful here at Tor Poznan as we head under the bridge once again. Alex Martin still there in the mirrors of Felicia Ziviello. He's done a really good job. A lot of the time in Formula Dream, you see guys qualifying up on the pole and then falling all the way back. But here comes the pit cycle from the leaders. That is going to be a major factor in this race to see how the pit stops go. As Ziviello, Martin, and Red Hawk all into the pits. This is going to be a big shakeup.
Troll and Bob Brook. So we have a big group going in right now.
Yes, we do. You're very correct about that. Here goes Coral. Lots of drivers dropping on down. We'll have to see how that all stacks out. Marcel Lamar's still in the lead. Spencer Brown still has the fastest lap of the race, but with the tires cycling on through, we might see that change hands a couple times before the end of the day here. As people asking a lot about Yeezy Season and what the name means. Quite simply, he in his request for what he wanted me to do for the helmet, he literally just put Kanye. So this is the helmet that we've drafted up. It's actually pretty beautiful, I must say. It's got a reflective chrome visor, and it's got the Graduation album cover by Kanye West on it, which I think is pretty dang cool. I'm pretty proud of that one. So that's a pretty cool looking helmet, if I do say so myself. But Bob Brook, interestingly enough, has DNF from this race. We'll go and see what exactly happened there. I think it was just a regular pit cycle for Bob Brook coming on in. She hits it, makes
probably
pit
just want to
speed.
retire the car. Maybe they noticed an issue and they just don't. It's just preseason, no point. They just want to get it worked on and just make sure it's okay for week one.
Yep, so
That's
bad start. Bad start on a new team for Bob Brook, but again, it's preseason, not the end of the day when all is said and done. But Bob Brook definitely going to be wishing she could have had a slightly better result in their first race with Rocket Racing. So not an ideal outcome for her, but there will be brighter days ahead.
And they said, thank you, guys. That is a beautiful helmet. I would have to agree. The helmet is beautiful there for Easy Season.
Yeah, absolutely. Beautiful helmet there, as always. We're being asked to show Felix's helmet now, who we're going to see where he is right now. He's in 10th. Felicia Ziviello is. And we'll take a look at the helmet for Felicia Ziviello.
A lot. Second here, too.
Just the light blue with the stripes here. Pretty standard helmet.
Ziviello now in 4th after that pit cycle. That's very good for him.
Yeah, so James Brown actually has stopped once. Remember, he had the incident early on in the race. He'll probably need to stop again, but Fonte and Yeezy Season are both going to go in this time through.
James Brown will be leading this race. That's insane.
Yes, James Brown will cycle into the lead of this race in Formula Dream, as it's been quite the season for him, I must say. I mean, season just started, but last season was quite the season for James Brown.
It seems like Central United slotted Noah perfectly with him already back up in P5 and going to be P3 after these two people cycle out.
Yeah, they played the pit cycle very well, Central United did. Pretty happy with the way they've done that. So good outcome there. Here comes Mallory Fonte under the bridge. She is going to be one of the last, along with the Easy Season, to come into the pits here at Tor Poznan in this lovely preseason romp about. And Easy Season will also come on in here. We've got Fonte coming in that all-pink helmet. And here comes Yeezy as well, getting it slowed down to pit speed. And into the pits goes Yeezy to get some new tires slapped onto that car. We'll see where Fonte and Yeezy come out at the end of this pit stop. But until then, we are going to have a new leader of the race. It's James Brown of Central United. Words that I never thought I would say. But
Ever.
James Brown taking the lead of the race here at Tor Poznan. So Fonte gets out of the pits now.
Ziviello in second. Good
Take a
race for
look
them. Him as well.
Yes, absolutely. I'm wondering if James Brown going to have to pit again, which would mean Ziviello is gifted not a win, but first place. As here comes Fonte out of the pits. It's not a great outcome after the pit stop. Here's Casey Lakatos right behind her. That will be her nearest competition. But the fresh tires will help for sure. Easy Season gets spat out down in 23rd place as well.
We did not delete that. We have I guess the automod on YouTube's going insane because I just deleted another one. I deleted another purple message. I don't know what he said. I didn't catch it in time, but
it's sad.
We will a little bit strict.
We will address that before the next race. Interestingly enough, James Brown definitely going to need to pit sometime soon because he just got passed by Felice Ziviello.
Yeah, because they hit. He fell at the second.
Yeah, so Noah Nadu now applying a lot of pressure, almost a little wheel-to-wheel contact there with Nadu and Alex Martin. As we continue to listen to the engines purr here in Formula Dream, we've got 10 laps left here at Poznan. No safety cars yet. Thankfully, we did have really just one major incident, and that was about it. The cars are spread out enough now at this point that probably won't be much of a problem. And Marcelo Mars. Already. Yeah, Ziviello doing a really, really good job here. As James Brown doing a good job of kind of holding everybody up and behind. And, oh, we've got some issues here. Kyle Tupper and Steve Durham, it appears, have come together. We're going to have to take a look at what happened there. No yellow coming out, but Jafeth Barahona also appears to be involved. Let's take a look at what happened here. Here it is, Steve Durham and Will Duncan. Duncan just squeezes him a little bit. Durham tries to save it, unable to, and takes a, big lick! And Barahona barely gets on through that, but that is a huge hit that he had with, I believe that's one of the Central Uniteds there that hit him hard. I'm not sure who that is. I think that's Tupper. It is Tupper. So Kyle Tupper has a big contact here with Steve Durham as he goes around, and that is a big wreck. And then it appears Barahona got on through. They both lost the front wing. There's Barahona that shot on through, came back onto the track, and almost wipes out Kyle Tupper as well. Just absolute chaos there. As soon as I was talking about, we haven't had a whole lot with safety cars or anything like that, got myself proven pretty much wrong there.
Man, that was pretty crazy.
Wild. I want to see what happened to Barahona. Must have locked up the brakes there. We'll go back a couple clicks here. And see, there you see him spinning. I see what he got the front wing of Steve Durham stuck under his car. Or no, that was Tupper's front wing. Stuck under the car, and he hops up and over it and has a hard lick with the wall. That would never happen in Assetto Corsa. Shout out to rFactor 2 for the physics. Because you will never see a wing getting stuck under a car and causing him to go up and over. Oh man, that's incredible. But unfortunate for Barahona the way that happened. But that is wild for sure.
Wow.
As Litwinski actually has made another pit stop. A lot of cars are making more pit stops actually, so we may see one more pit cycle here. Timothy Matthew and Jedi John, it appears, have also had a little bit of a dust up with each other. I wonder if this was going into the pits. Here it is. There's Matthew in the red helmet. And, a little bit too hard into the corner there. Sweeps out the back from Jedi John, and that is a certified Jedi John moment. We need to come up with a graphic for that at this point. As Jedi John hit from behind by Timothy Matthew, the Formula Dream rookie, still getting his feet wet. As, locks him up, sends it in from way too far back. That's a big send that just was not on from Timothy Matthew.
That's not it.
It's not. We're getting word here. The Formula Dream champion, number 1, Juno Maksimovic, who's running a great race, has DNF'd from this race. It looks like he's just floating around in the pits. I don't know what happened there. Did he have an accident in the pit lane?
I'm not sure.
It appears he's stuck. Someone ran into him here. Oh, man. Yeah, Kyle Tupper, I think, hit him exiting the pit, so I'm not sure what happened there. Yeah, Tupper lost his front wing again.
He went right into her.
Maksimovic was tangled up with a teammate coming into the pits. They were trying too hard to race each other coming out of the pits, and Maksimovic forces him into the wall. So Litwinski forced to go back to his pit stall. Oh man, that is a weird incident for Juno Maximovic, but a DNF. Very interesting to see that happen. Very weird occurrence that we had there. Still, Felice Ziviello. Ziviello has almost a 2-second lead at this point on James Brown. You got to think it's pretty unlikely that Ziviello is going to find a way to throw this one away, but we've cursed Jedi John many a time, so I'm not going to be too outright with me saying I think he's going to win this race.
James Brown is super requesting, so that's going to give Nady the chance to use everything he has.
Yeah, interesting. I'm shocked that James Brown has managed to stay where he is for so long. As that's just a gorgeous camera angle there of watching Felice Ziviello run off into the distance. And yeah, Brown has not been impressive on this stint with these tires. They haven't been great to this point, but definitely a decent showing for James Brown. He's just going to have to go home and regroup and tighten things back up. Jedi John also into the pits here. As we see him. Oh, a slight contact there with, I believe that was Timothy Matthews. Those two just can't stay away from each other. Jedi John and Timothy Matthew. They've had multiple coming togethers in the last little bit of time, but Jedi John luckily able to survive that one, as is Matthew, and everybody moves on, and we're all okay.
Actually, the gap between the top three is getting big. No one almost has a second on Alex Martin now, it seems, and Felice has that too.
Yeah, it appears James Brown, I think, really threw a wrench into that top little group of cars with the late pit call. I think he was so far off the pace, being on such tired out tires, no pun intended, but again, he was so far off the pace that he just was not able to stay with the pace of the rest of the leaders, and definitely slowed him down quite a bit. So that caused that gap, as one guy would pass James Brown, the other guy would be battling, because obviously it's not a blue flag situation. He can still race to whatever degree he desires to, but if he wants to defend, he's just losing everybody a lot of time.
And shout out to, he should have let his teammate through realistically, but shout out to Spencer Brown, back to P6 after his earlier incident. He is pit requesting again, so he's going to fall, but he did climb back up nicely.
Yeah, it was a great climb from Spencer Brown. I believe he was one of the earlier pitters. As James Brown has gotten out of the pits, he's going to fall down to around P16 here. Will Duncan coming out of the pits as well. He had to make another stop.
It's clawing into it, but I just don't think there's enough time. It was at 3 seconds last lap. It's down to 2.3, but I still don't think there's enough lap.
Yeah, it's interesting. We've got 6 to go, getting close to 5 to go. We'll see how Nadu is able to claw into this lead. It's a good chance that he'll be able to, really make things up. But right now it's staying pretty steady at 2.3. Definitely something to keep an eye on, though, as Nadu continues to try and get back into this race. As here comes Ziviello. 5 laps to go now, officially. Here
down to 1.95.
Yeah, the gap has really shrunk, actually. Nadu has cut into it quite a bit. You see him in the shot there. He is very, very close now. I'm looking at more gaps on the screen here. It appears we've got a good battle here with Yeezy Seas and Madison Brown. Colin Fleabag not too terribly far behind either, as this group of cars is heading on through the start-finish line. As here comes Yeezy, looking to the outside, actually, of Madison Brown. Oh, there's a little bit of contact, a little bit of twitching. Yeezy Season driving very aggressively there, trying to get his way on past. And Madison Brown says no. But this is a battle that definitely could start to boil over here. So Madison Brown's got to keep her wits about her as much as she possibly can here. Possibly also going to be one that Colin Fleabag can find her way into. She's up to 12th. It's a decent little scrap from her. Jedi John down in 22nd. Josh Fobo in 13th. So Blue Ball's definitely starting off the season on a slightly better note than they ended the last one on.
That's for sure.
Yeah, still not a great performance, but again, it's only preseason. There's a long way still to go. But yeah, we'll see if Colin Fleabag is able to maybe scrounge up even a couple more positions here. So Nadu continues to shave some time off the gap there. Alex Martin is also not too terribly far away from him. As the gap is
might get interesting.
Less than a second. Yeah, it could very well get interesting here coming to the end. As some clouds start to roll in at Tor Poznan.
Yeah, down to 1.34.
Yeah, second and third have the gap really close. And then that battle to first, also a very close one that's starting to heat up. And then almost 7 seconds back to Mars in the next position. But some great racing that we're seeing between these three cars. We'll see if Martin is able to get close. And it appears Nadu is continuing to claw closer and closer. So definitely a few drivers to keep an eye on here. And this one is going to culminate really well once all the strategies play their way all the way out here. Looks like we've got Coral just about a lock for driver of the day. Colin Fleabag putting in a pit request, sadly, so we're not going to see her scrounge up as good of a result as we thought. But yeah, Coral is up 20 spots from the start. If anything happened to him, or if he managed to go into the pits at some point, then it would fall to Noah Nadu in second. Again, not that it really matters for the points, but it is still interesting to keep an eye on, so... Take a look here at Felice Ziviello coming home to complete yet another lap. We are now down to 3 to go here at Tor Poznan as we get a great view of the hairpin here. You see how close Martin and Nadu are, and you see that Nadu is still clawing that gap down even more. It's 1.2 seconds now, so still a little bit of time to try and make something happen.
See if he gets a slipstream pretty soon. But
yeah, he could. Unfortunately, it's a shorter track, so it's not all that easy to get the slipstream going here. So that's definitely something that's a little harder to do at a circuit like this. But anything can happen. It's Formula Dream. We've seen weirder things.
We definitely have.
But actually now the interesting battles between Martin and Nadu, you hope they're not going to take too much time away from each other, as both Blue Balls drivers that were up there are starting to pit now. Josh Fobo and Colin Fleabag both going in for a second time here. So they're just about waving the white flag here. Coming up to 2 to go, as Alex Martin is right alongside Noah Nadu. He wants to find his way through here, and he's going to try, but it's a good block by Noah Nadu. As they've got to be careful. They're going to lose some time and lose their chance to take the lead here. As Martin might have sabotaged himself a little bit there, running off into the grass.
And they already are falling a little bit off of Felice Ziviello's face. I think there's going to be a fight for second and third.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for their chances for the win, but we're going to have a nice little battle in the end here. It's going to be entertaining, that's for sure. No doubts about that. As, Noah Nadu has to pit! It's a pit from Noah Nadu, and that is not what I expected out of this battle.
Not at all.
But must have been running out of fuel.
He stopped later than both Alex Martin and Felice.
That's interesting. Maybe he felt something wrong with the car. We'll see if he DNFs. That's also a possibility. You don't want to try and wish that upon anybody, but...
No, that's definitely a possibility. Maybe they're trying to save the car for the regular season.
Also possible, or maybe they were running some fuel mix that they thought would blow up the engine. Who knows? Who knows?
He's exiting. That's weird.
Noah Nadu is exiting, so
wow.
He'll be back out. So 2 to go here. Alex Martin, Felice Ziviello are your leaders in this race. The gap about 2 seconds from Martin to Ziviello now. And Martin is starting to close in a little bit. But he's going to have to hurry up if he wants to make anything happen. It's still a pretty big gap to old Felix up the road.
I think if he takes off, I don't think he can take off 2 seconds unless Ziviello makes a big mistake.
Yeah, that would be a really tough gain for Alex Martin. It's not impossible, as James Brown appears to have had a little bit of an issue a little bit further back. Colin Fleabag as well appears to have a crash, so let's see what happened there. There's Colin Fleabag smoking on the side of the road as she pulls it to the side here. You see that car is on fire coming up to the bridge, and that is going to be race over for Colin Fleabag. Absolutely not what she wanted to see to start the season, as you see her car burning under the bridge. That is not the outcome that she would have wanted. We're going to have to get that engine fixed before round 1. But we are coming to the final lap here. This is it here. As Martin is cutting into the time ever so slightly, but I don't think it's going to be enough.
No, it shows me actually right now currently it's at 2.6, even higher
maybe.
than it was.
Yeah, it looks like he did lose a little bit of time, actually. You're right. So Timothy Matthew and James Brown are having a good battle right now. We'll have to go check that out when we get the opportunity. They are really going at it here, but don't want to miss Felice Ziviello crossing the line here. It's going to be happening pretty soon at this point, and almost finding some lap traffic here, as I believe that's probably Jafeth Barahona. That's just up the road from Felice Ziviello. He's not going to get there in any time for it to matter. Yeah, not a dominant day for IEC at all. Here comes Ziviello through the last couple of corners. He's almost there, Felice Ziviello, to win the Formula Dream preseason race. It's pretty hard to imagine that it's not going to happen at this point. So here comes Felice Ziviello under the bridge one final time through the long sweeping right-hander, and across the line comes Felice Ziviello to win the Formula Dream preseason race. It is a great W there for Mr. Ziviello, and one that is much deserved. What a race for him. As now we're going to go take a look at the battle here with Timothy Matthew and James Brown. Red Hawk comes home 4th, Keelan Wynn 5th. Coral's going to be 6th, Fonte 7th. As here is the battle. It's Timothy Matthew, and now it's Carp that's actually challenging him quite a bit. There's one last corner for Carp to try and make it happen. Let's see if he's going to be able to pull it off here. Here comes Carp looking for any way past, but Matthew closes the door. Great driving by the rookie there. And Timothy Matthew, it appears, is going to come home safely in P13.
Maybe just take the fastest lap. Do you think that's what they were trying to do? Just take the fastest lap?
Oh, it might be. Nadu does come home with the fastest lap. It doesn't matter for points at the end of the day. But here's lowly old Josh Fobo. Litwinski comes home 18th. Casey Lakatos 19th. Josh Fobo going to be the 20th place driver here. Jedi John will be 21st.
Maybe their centering knight was just doing it to show that they could.
Yeah, show that they had the pace. Still not a bad day for them, but man, they really fell out from where we expected them to be. Here comes Jedi John to finish his race. Kyle Tupper right in behind, and Steve Durham not too far behind the three of them either. So there we go.
Yeah, that was a good race.
That was a good race. That is the preseason race, race number 1 of the Formula Dream season. We'll go ahead and take you through your rFactor. Really nice of you to not give me any results. There we go. Now they're going to pop up. Felice Ziviello comes home in P1. A great race for him and a great race for PCR in general. It's a great, great result for those guys. So really, really good to see. Second place is Alex Martin. We predicted him to win. He didn't end up winning, but second place still a very noble effort. Third was Marcelo Mars in the Rocket Racing. Good result there as well. He finished where he started. Then Red Hawk in 7th, Keelan Wynn in 5th, Coral coming home 6th, up 21 spots. What a performance and what a driver of the day. It's a great day for PCR.
21 spots is insane.
Looking at the holistic outcome here is a really, really good day for PCR. Mallory Fonte as well comes home 7th. 8th is Hayden Segovas. 9th is Easy Season. And 10th is Madison Brown. So a good result for Carpini as well to get 2 drivers in the top 10 here in their first Formula Dream race. That's really good stuff. You love to see it as we go on board here with Easy Season. As we'll move forward to our next page of session results here, we've got Noah Nadu in 11th, followed by his teammate James Brown in 12th. Very close result between those two. Central United can't complain too much about that one, and a fastest lap for Noah Nadu to boot. Timothy Matthew came home 13th for Inter-Europol competition. Then it was Carp, the last Carpini driver, in 14th. So no Carpini drivers outside of the top 14. Great result there. Spencer Brown came home 15th for area. Yeah, it could be a really good team. They'll be exciting to watch. So Spencer Brown in 15th, and then Noah, I'll throw it to you if you want to take us from 16th on down.
Yeah. So finishing 16th, we had David Lakers, followed by Will Duncan. In 18th, we had Mikhail Logunski, followed by Casey Lakatos. In 20th, we had Josh Bobo, followed by Jedi John. 22nd is the other Central United driver, Kyle Tupper, followed by the area driver, Steve Durham. In 24th, we had Jafeth Barahona, and then we had 2 DNFs today, Colin Fleabag and Juno Maximovic.
Yep. So,
Brooke.
Yep. Brooke as well. Yeah, 27 now instead of 26. It's a
27.
little bit of a switch up that none of us are really used to yet. But yeah, those are your session results today. Take a look at the Formula Dream schedule here. We've got the South African Grand Prix, which it says round 2. It's actually round 1. that will all change. This will all get shifted around, considering the All-Star race doesn't really count as an event, nor does the preseason race. So that is how the schedule shapes up. Either way, we had a great race here. What are your final thoughts on our result here, Noah?
It was fun. It was a great race. I'm excited to get into the season. Just after watching today's race, it was great on-track action. A lot of interesting. Doesn't seem like one team will be the dominant team, which I'm excited for. It seems like it's pretty spread out. So it's gonna be a fun season.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited for a more spread out field. That's always a great privilege that we have in Formula Dream that isn't always the case in some leagues. It's nice to have an AI league where you don't have one car that's just better than all the other ones. That's really cool. But I'll venture to say, Noah, this might be a bold statement to make, but this is the first Formula Dream race that I think has really felt like it played out like a real race might, honestly. I mean, that doesn't really happen very much in Formula Dream. We've probably had a couple, but this one really stands out in my mind for that reason. That makes me really excited for the season upcoming.
Yeah,
so.
it was the most, it was a couple of wrecks, nothing crazy, just a couple of little touches. The strategy played a lot into it, so it's definitely a lot more like a real race, and I'm excited for that.
Yeah, well, it was a blast, and I appreciate you accompanying me on the journey, Noah. It's always great to have you alongside me in the booth, but it was a wonderful race here in Formula Dream. We will see you in a week's time to kick the season off at Kyalami. That is how we're going to start the Formula Dream season, as we always do, and then we'll head to Interlagos after that, and we'll continue on rolling from that point forward. But on behalf of Formula Dream, I've been Kyle Tupper. Alongside me in the commentary booth, as always, is my good friend Noah Nadu, and we will see you in a week. We are really excited. Congrats again to Felice Ziviello, and everybody, go ahead and take care of yourselves. We will see you in the next one.